This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Hey, Bruce.
Hi, Jody.
How are you over there?
I'm good. I'm giddy. I'm full of laughter and joy
I can
today.
see that. Also, I was just burping really weird. Sorry, right before I started recording.
Right. The behind the scenes burp too.
Yeah. I was like, oh, don't wait. Hold on.
Yep. Yeah. We have kind of a process when we start recording, and usually there's a clap, but this time
It was a burp. Yep.
Yes.
Could have started with that.
Yes. So I'm this is a momentous week for me.
It is. I know.
Yes.
Woo-hoo.
Yes. This week is Chubstr's 10th anniversary.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you. It's
Have some sort of noise effect, maybe.
Yes. Yeah. There we go. So yeah, it's crazy that it's been 10 years, and it just felt like a good time to kind of look back and talk a little about that and kind of celebrate that, because I've never done a thing for 10 years. Like, I've never had a job. Well,
Right.
I will say, my oldest child is going to be 11. So there we go. Parenting.
Okay.
But as far as something like this, like a career thing, or a thing that's important to me like this, I've never had anything that's lasted this long. And
it's amazing. I mean, it's something that you built from the ground up, and you've been doing it, every day basically, or off and on every day for 10 years. That's amazing. That's congrats.
Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy. And really, I just kind of wanted to talk about kind of what it was like when this started. Now, and I think a lot of the people who listen to the podcast probably are somewhat aware of, the body positivity movement, or even more specifically, kind of the men's side of that, and what options are out there, for big and tall clothing, and just, influencers on Instagram and all of that. And, back when I started, I wasn't seeing any of this anywhere. There was nothing. And that was really, the thing that drove me to start doing this was feeling like there were no options. Like, nobody was out there doing anything like this. And so it's crazy to think that it's come from there to here, but I'm jumping ahead of the other things that we need to talk about before we get into that.
Yes. We got a little bit of news today.
Yes.
Bruce found a fun video. I don't know if you can kind of share it or explain a little bit.
I'll explain. I can explain some of this, and I definitely recommend that you watch this, because it's great, and it's really good, especially because no one gets hurt. So yeah, so we'll throw that out. I found this video for this article that came from NBC News, where they were talking about a bear chasing a skier down a Romanian mountain. And you can watch the video, and it's like, the skier is nonchalantly just kind of hanging out, and he turns to look to his left, and there's a bear, and it's just kind of walking sort of next to him. I don't know, 10 feet away, something like that.
Yeah. Not far enough away.
Oh no. And he's yelling at the bear, basically just like, get away.
Harassing it. I don't know, maybe
something. And so then he starts to ski a little bit. The bear turns and kind of comes after him, and he's like, rah, rah, and he, yells something else. The bear stops and kind of goes off. And so the guy starts to ski, and he's picking up good speed, and he looks back, and this bear is just coming right after him.
Oh my God.
And it wasn't like a, when I think of like full-size bears, they're huge and beastly. This is still not a bear that I would want to cuddle with. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
This is a huge beast. And it wasn't pretty. There for a minute, it looked like it was going to go wrong, but the bear finally kind of gives up. So,
yeah, he got tired and stopped. But oh my God, I probably would have died. I'm not that great of a skier, and then having that coming at me would like freak me out, and I'd fall over and I would have been eaten.
Yes,
for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, so that's a slow news week, folks, because we're talking about bears chasing skiers. So
Yes.
here we are.
And another little tidbit of news, it's going to be time to spring ahead, depending on when you're listening to this. On Sunday, March 14th,
yes,
we
yes.
spring ahead.
If you're listening to this and you haven't realized that, then you're too late because we've already sprung. So
Yep.
yes, so
it was sprung, it sprang.
Yep.
It's so weird because now most of the time you don't even really need to worry about it because all of our phones, my alarm is my phone.
Right.
So it automatically changes. And the only weird one is like the microwave and the stove.
Oh, right.
That I have to like change.
Yep.
And that'll take like a day or two because I'll be like, oh my God, what time? And I'm like, oh wait, actually it's not that time.
Right. Eventually they'll have Wi-Fi in those as well. So
I mean, come on, why do they?
I know.
Another chip in there
and we're good to go. Right. Yeah, the thing with the time change, they always talk about how it affects people so much, just kind of throws you off because you're so used to, I know for me, for the last few weeks I've been going to bed very early. It's usually about 9 o'clock I'm in bed. You kind of go through these phases. Before that it was me staying up very, very late, but right now I'm really digging the early to bed and getting up really early, usually before the sun's up. And I think if you're doing that and you've got the schedule and then the time changes, it throws you off. Your body just
it does, because I've been consistently waking up at 6 a.m. regardless of an alarm now. So
nice.
Now it's going to be really off. So that's going to be fun in the morning when I'm like wanting to sleep in, but
right. Yeah. So be careful, be aware, and hopefully you are adjusting to all of this without any kind of problem.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun week.
Yes. Yes, it is. So make sure that you have yourself a fancy beer to drink after you're done with the day, like we have here.
Absolutely. What do you got over there, Bruce?
So this week, since it's a special occasion, I wanted to get a special beer. And so I wanted to make sure that, since we talk about this often, that we live on the West Coast and we're in Portland, that there's a lot of Portland and West Coast, especially Pacific Northwest beers that we can get. So I wanted to try and get a beer that was not from here, just kind of, it feels more special,
Okay.
So I ended up getting a beer called Slurp. There's 3 S's, LURPPP. Slurp. There we go. It is from the Brewing Project, and they are located in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Yes. Eau Claire Brewing Project, DBA, the Brewing Project. So yes, this is an imperial stout with milk sugar, chocolate, salted caramel, and vanilla, which is not usually my jam. This sounds more like something
I was like, that sounds more my jam.
But I always fall victim to awesome labels, and if you're watching the video, you can see this label, and it has 2 gentlemen with male pattern baldness.
Yes.
One is smaller than the other, might be like his tiny clone, and
his mini me.
Yes, and it looks like they're drinking something, and
a Slurpee, probably
a Slurpee. Yes, you're exactly right. It's like
I don't know,
like a cola Slurpee or something. And yeah, so there we go. Other than that, I'm not seeing anything that says much about this beer, so I'm just going to crack it open and give it a try. Oh wow, it is the same color as the cola in their little cups on the label. It smells great. It smells sweet and glorious. Let's see. Oh man. Ooh, man alive. It's sweet. It's strong. It is. Oh, what do we have? What's happening here? Okay, definitely taste the chocolate, the salted caramel. You get that caramel, and yes, I guess the vanilla. Usually when we're drinking beers on the show and they have all these different flavors, I get like one. You know, I can taste everything in this, and I can also taste that it is very intense. Yes, so it's 7 point. Is that 7 point something? Yeah. So
very nice.
Yeah. So,
they have a lot of really. I'm on their Instagram page right now looking. They've got a Maui Wowie sour ale that is like a green crazy color. Okay, can you see that, Bruce?
oh wow, whoa, neat, nice.
They've got a morning grind. They got lots of funky labels.
I like it. I
I know
like it.
you're what?
Yep. Hey, you got a friend
I
request.
was like, someone's friend requesting me. Get out of there.
Yes.
You know.
Oh yeah, nice. I like this. See, oh, that's wonderful. I love it. You know, it's that's always the thing that gets me. I've certainly purchased beers in the past where they've got a great label and the stuff inside is not so great. But this is
one's
good.
Okay.
This is good. This is definitely for me more of a sipper. This is not one that at least for me that I would be drinking quickly, but it's good. It's almost it kind of reminds me of coffee, you know, but not, it doesn't have that bitterness. It's just like everything else around it. It must be the milk, the chocolate, the
yeah, they got the combos right.
they got it all right. Yeah, yeah. So it's like something from Starbucks or your other fancy coffee place, whatever that would be.
Whatever, yeah. Your
Mhm.
what is the local one here that I can't remember?
Oh man, of course, you know, I always know what it is until I need to know.
Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Is it somebody's name? No, it's not.
No.
No, I can't remember now.
I can't remember if I already did this one, but
Yeah.
celebrating my Stormbreaker love affair, I'm doing the
Hey,
Harmonica Hazy IPA.
I don't recall that one, so I
Okay,
feel
good.
like
I was like, did I do that one already?
Dutch Brothers.
Oh, no,
Dutch Brothers Coffee.
maybe. I don't
That's
know.
the one that's all over. They have a lot of locations here.
Hmm.
Yes. There are others, but a lot of coffee in Portland. So there we go.
Harmonica,
Harmonica. And what kind is it?
the Hazy IPA.
Mm.
I was trying to. I thought it had. Oh, it does have a 6.5 and a 70 IBU. The Hazy IPA with some swagger. Starting in the key of C, there are repeating triple licks of Mosaic, Strata, and Citra that blend together into a smooth elegance. It's as if Sonny Boy Williamson himself collaborated with our hopback.
Nice, nice. Must be a
Yeah,
harmonica playing blues man.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably. It's really good. I've been enjoying it for a few days now.
Let's see. Yeah, so it's a good one then. Nice.
Yeah, I really been enjoying it.
Yes, Sonny Boy Williamson was an American blues harmonica player, singer, and songwriter. He was an early and influential blues harp stylist who recorded successfully in the 50s and 60s.
Nice.
So there we go. Yeah. Nice. Nice. I would play a little bit of his music, but I don't think we can do that.
Yeah, we don't have the rights to that.
Yep. Yep. You get like, is it less than 30 seconds?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't even know how long you can play without having
something
to pay someone.
Yeah, it's something like that. Something like that. I don't know. And I know that sometimes YouTube will block out music if it recognizes.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So,
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm trying to check in on the Untapped app. So
yes.
sure you go and follow along. You can follow the Heavy Conversation beer list on there and see all the wonderful beers that we've been drinking.
Yes. I'm coming up on my 2000th beer. I'm a few beers away now on my 2000th enjoyed beer. So I don't know if I think as far as unique beers go, it's only like 1500 or something, but you know, either way, Untapped is fun if you like to track that sort of thing in your life and you enjoy lots of different adult beverages. There's so many beers. So
I have to do it because I really can't remember all my beer. After a few of them, I can't remember.
Right.
I'm going to give this one a 5 stars.
Nice.
I like it. It's like, it's it's getting into, it's going to be a nice hazy juicy IPA season again. I was just talking to a friend about that. I'm like, I never drank IPAs before I moved to Portland, and now I really do enjoy them. So you can really change your flavor palette and what
Yes.
you can enjoy, you know, just trying out different ones. And because I hated, like, I don't really like the super, like the triple hopped whatever,
Right.
but
Bitter stuff. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
But I
That's
like this.
that is saying something, because you have not been a fan of those kind of beers. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. All right. Well, great. Then yes, I uh think we got some good beers this time, and that's great, because it's cause for celebration. So
Yes.
here we are. So yeah, 10 years of Chubstr. And like I said, when I started, there weren't really, I mean, there was nobody else that I could think of that was doing anything like this, writing articles and, putting out photo shoots and doing those kind of things, and
Yeah.
really catering to a younger consumer. And, at the time when I started this, I think I had started working on it when I was in my late 20s. I think I turned, 30 or so, something like that. I think I was 29 and 30 when I started working on it, and
Yeah.
you know, 31 when it launched. And it really just came out of the frustration of not being able to find any options. And so many things start like that. I mean, I know,
Yeah, that's how
bearskin.
Bearskin started. Yep.
Right.
Comes out, yeah, we're just trying to solve a problem for, and
Yeah.
that's what great companies do, is try to solve problems.
Right. And I really just started out, like, very early. It was really just me being frustrated, because I would go to the store. I'd go to a store, and they'd give me that crappy look, that
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, here he comes. We don't have anything for him. Or
He's just gonna waste my time.
right. Or I'd go in and I'd leave demoralized in some way, and I just wasn't finding things, and I felt overlooked. And so I started blogging about that on Tumblr.
Oh
So
yes.
yeah. So
Wow.
I know. And it wasn't, at that time, it wasn't even called Chubster. It was called Big Boy Fashion. So that tells you how little thought actually went into what I was doing.
It was just an angry rant on yeah, that's
It
funny.
was. It was a lot of ranting,
We
and it
can
was,
we find those somewhere deep in the Chubster
honestly,
articles, or
I think that some of the early ones on Tumblr I deleted.
oh
Some of the ones where I was more angry. Now on Chubster.com, if you go way back and you get back into the archives, yeah, there's some really old stuff, and it's funny to go back and look at some of those things and see kind of what's in there, and kind of where I was as far as, like, my writing style, as far as what
mm-hmm.
I was trying to say, and what I thought the site was going to be. Because I really think that even when I got to the point with Chubster that I thought, okay, this is what it's going to be, I learned pretty quickly that it was, I started doing all this really selfishly. It was because I wasn't finding things for myself, and I was
Yeah.
frustrated. But I found out that there were a lot of other people who were as frustrated, and they wanted to share their stories. And so it turned into something different. And, it was a grassroots thing for so long. And then companies started to reach out, and the first, like, bigger thing that I ever did was with a suiting company called Indochino. And
Oh wow.
this was in 2011. They were like, we like what you're doing. We want to send you a suit. Pick out a suit, enter your measurements, do all of that. At that time, I had no idea whatsoever how to do my measurements. So I, like, my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, she's like, I'll measure you. We're going to do this. And I was like, okay, we'll do this. And so
Yeah.
she measured me. We totally did the measurements wrong.
Oh
We
boy.
went through and got them wrong. So when I got the suit, the jacket for the suit was too short. there were all these things that were just a little bit off, or like the jacket was way off. I looked like George Washington in like a half jacket. It was,
How did they even? I feel like they would have called and be like, you might want to remeasure this one.
yeah, I don't know. I think it was because it went into their process and went through, and they,
Yeah, they're just
you
like,
know,
yep, that's his
yeah,
measurements.
that's what this guy is asking for.
He's
Yeah,
he's only this tall.
right. We're gonna trust that he knows what he's doing. So, so then I got
Well,
it, and
how old were they at the time? I mean, they've been.
they had just started.
I was like,
They,
they
yeah,
just, yeah, okay.
they had just started, and so I got the jacket, and luckily I have a good friend who's a photographer, and she's great at what she does, and so she was able to pose me in a lot of different ways, and we went to a really cool location. We were able to get this bar in St. Louis and do this whole thing, and the photos that came out of that, it was like, it sounds cheesy, but it was really kind of life changing, to look
Yeah,
at it and see myself, you know, posed and looking like somebody you would see in a magazine or something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. And it was the first time that I'd felt that, and that I'd really, something like that had really, it all kind of connected for me there.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how good clothes can make you feel. I mean, clothes that properly are, fit you properly,
Yeah.
are cut right, tailored. Even unfortunately, that wasn't quite exactly right.
Right.
The experience in itself can be life changing. It really can. And yeah, that's amazing that you did that so early on in your Chubstr career, so.
Right. And it turned into a longer term relationship with that company. And then, other opportunities kind of came out of that. And so other companies started to pay attention. And when I started this, and I would reach out to brands that carried extended sizes, so many of them at the time weren't willing to talk about extended sizes at all. They
Mhm.
didn't talk about this customer. They were nervous they didn't want to speak ill of any customers. They didn't want to say the wrong thing. They didn't know how to talk about it. So
Yeah.
a lot of them wouldn't give me the time of day,
Well,
and
and that's almost understandable that it is maybe a minority class or whatever that there wasn't a conversation happening.
right.
So they don't, because even now we don't have like a quote unquote term. It's like big and tall,
Right.
plus size, whatever. I think big and
Sure.
tall has kind of started to really be the thing, but not everyone loves it. But yeah, there
Sure.
wasn't a lot of conversations, and I think you have definitely brought the plus size men's movement forward quite a bit. Thinking about 10 years ago, there was nothing.
Right. Yeah.
There was the section at the department store with the Hawaiian shirts and the whatever,
Right.
and that's it. And
Yeah.
now, there's actual plus size models and
Right.
in big, modeling agencies, and there are plus size people doing big photo shoots in like GQ and Vogue and all that
Right.
kind of stuff. And yeah, and I definitely think you have been a big part of that, getting that conversation going and getting it out there and using your voice. I know you've done tons of interviews and stuff like that, so using your voice has helped a lot.
Yeah. The press and all of that that's come along with this as it's grown has really been interesting. About 2 years in, I got to do an interview with the New York Times, and I didn't understand what that would be. And it kind of, things just blew up, and it kind of went everywhere and opened up a lot of opportunities. A couple days after that, I was contacted by a production company that wanted me to take a camera around with me like throughout my day and record myself to potentially use for a reality show. And
Oh,
luckily I did a horrible job, so there was no reality show.
oh.
Thank God, because that would have been horrible. So
It could have been amazing.
yeah, it could have been. It could have
You
been.
never know.
Yeah. So, but other opportunities came out of it. And I think the biggest thing has been just like the outreach from people who find articles that are on the site, or who see a video, or who hear this, or these different things that have all kind of grown out of all of this. And it's like people are getting something out of the things that we do, and that this is a legitimate it's a legitimate movement, and there's something that's really helping people, and
Hmm.
that's huge. I mean, the opportunities that have come out of it for sure are awesome. I never thought I'd be doing this and that this would be my job,
Yeah,
and I never
it
thought
is
that.
fun. It's funny to like, this is what I do for a job,
Right,
like this is how I support my family, or
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's almost like, is this real? Like I was doing that for a while with Bearskin when I was just doing that, and I'm like, this doesn't
right,
even feel like I'm like, most days it doesn't even feel like I'm really working a job, but then other days it's like, there's so much to do today, but like,
right.
this is, wow, I could do this all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's awesome, and I feel like it is something that people need, and I think that there's still a long way to go.
Hmm.
Not just for men's plus size clothing or whatever you want to call it, big and tall, and not just for like activism and self-love and all of that, but also just for Chubstr itself, as far as the first 10 years. Okay, I've been able to
Yeah.
kind of stumble my way here. Now, the goal moving forward is to really grow this and to really expand it. I think one of the things I learned early is that lots of people have their own stories and they want to tell them, and they should be able to. And I want to make Chubster a place for more people to do those things again.
Hmm.
I kind of got away from that in the last few years. I mean, obviously with the pandemic, it's been crazy, but life has been crazy for the last year,
Hmm.
and it's been weird. My mom passed away about a month ago, and it's it's really gotten me thinking about that and thinking about like um, what what do you want if you've got limited time here? What do you want to do with that, and
Right.
what's important? And um, I think I want to do more with this, and I want to leave something that helps people. And
Yeah,
there's a
absolutely.
lot more to do around that, and so that's the goal. That's the goal
Yeah.
moving forward.
And I love it when we get comments and whatever on Instagram or emails or comments about, I'm so thankful that I found you. You've helped me, we did an episode about, taking, we talked about taking your shirt off at the pool, and some guy was like, just hearing you guys talk about that made me feel okay to do that just recently, like I'm however old, or whatever it is, that these people reach out and are so thankful that we're you know having the conversations, talking about it,
Mm,
gets them thinking about it or feeling better about themselves. And
right.
that that's all I need is, I'll keep doing this as long as people are still getting something out of it. And I feel like you get that same sort of feedback with Chubster.
Right.
And it's meaningful to people, and
Yeah.
it definitely matters to people.
Yeah. And so the goal moving forward, especially for the rest of the year, is more articles, more content. We're going to start doing videos again. I have some really fun things that I want to do once we can all be around each other again, which,
Mhm.
I mean, it seems closer than
Oh
ever.
yeah, it's getting
Yeah.
closer and closer.
Yeah. And, better resources, and really just kind of overall, kind of amping things up. I think there's a lot here that can be really helpful to people, on another level. And so, that's the real goal. And, I won't be doing that by myself because I
Hmm.
can't.
Hmm.
You get to a certain point. That's what one thing 10 years has taught me, is that uh, you need help. you know
Yep. Yep.
yeah. So that's the goal, and I'm really proud of what this has become, and um I'm really thankful that people actually go to the site and they read the articles and they get something out of it, and the opportunities that have come from the whole thing. Opportunities to speak to people at different events, or I mean, the modeling thing was something that I never set out to do, but the fact that I got to do any of that was really cool. And
Hmm.
you know, it's just, you just don't know what's going to happen next. And I'm really thankful for all this, and I'm excited to push forward and see what happens for the next 10 years.
Yeah, that's amazing. Congrats again on 10 years of Chubstr, and I'm excited to see what you do in the next 10 years,
Yes.
what you can do with it. And I'm happy that I get to be a little part of it too.
This has been so much fun, like us being able to do this. It's, you know, it's funny because just thinking about it, that we do this every week, and we've done this every week, you
Yep.
know, with very, very few exceptions,
Yep.
since June of 2018, since like June 1st of
Yep.
2018, something like that. So it's been really cool to just be able to have these conversations and just talk about whatever. And, you know, of course, drinking interesting beer.
That helps. That helps.
Yes. Yeah. But, you know, it's obviously we don't want to spoil anything, but I think, you know, we're coming on a few years of heavy conversation, and you know, we might be able to bring some cool things to it that we haven't before later in the year. So
yeah, we're definitely working on some stuff behind the scenes. We got a lot of content for you, so make sure, if you're just joining us, you're just finding us now, go back and listen to past episodes. Lots of great stuff out there. Maybe we'll have Heavy Conversation 10-year anniversary in a few years, and
yes,
we'll see where we're at then.
That'd be awesome. Cool.
Well, thanks, Bruce.
There we go.
I wish we were able to celebrate a little bit more, but I'm sure you've got some fun stuff in store for the site and celebrating a little bit more.
I do. Keep an eye out for giveaways and for some other fun things that are going to be coming up just throughout the rest of the year to really celebrate everything that's going on. So
Nice.
I'm definitely excited to do some of that, and you know, make the most of it as much as we can in the world that we're in right now.
Absolutely. So go check out Chubstr. Go right now. We're done. So go check it out.
We're done.
All right. Thanks, Bruce.
All right. Thanks, Jody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
Podcasts.